night Milton disappeared, the only thing he left behind was a room full of paintings.
Hmm. What's around the back? Can we sneak in? Yep. Why would she caulk the doors, but then the windows are just fine? That doesn't make any sense. Oh, that's cool. I guess we're gonna find out how Milton disappeared.
Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush.
What's going on? Oh. What's happening? Oh, so it's about a paintbrush that can bring things to life. Oh, it's like that door we saw downstairs. No.
I was 4 when Milton disappeared.
Could Milton have opened? There's no way. So Lewis and Edie are the two we oh, Lewis, Edie, and my mom are the two we haven't done yet. Hmm. Strange. You don't actually know. Oh, that's just castle.
Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors.
He's in that door, dog. Telling you. Somehow he opened that painting. That's a really impressive painting.
Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out.
Whatever Milton had found? What does that even mean? I guess we can go back over here. Head up. Maybe we'll find out how Lewis
Mom
died.
definitely blamed Edie, but I think Lewis blamed himself.
Oh.
After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room. Until Mom got him a job at the cannery.
Which way should we go? Take a left. This is a boat. That's a hookah.
Lewis's room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on.
We can tell what kind of person Lewis was. San Juan Ale. Marijuana. Trippy, bruh.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life.
Oh, whoops.
He kept working at the cannery, but he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to...
What?
wander.
Oh.
asked him to describe it.
I can move both at the same time. This is weird. Kind of hard to do, but okay. Bottom one.
He said he started small,
Started small.
imagining a labyrinth. He'd feel his way about. Then something moved. Bats. And toads.
Huh? Oh, sorry. It's like a fossil. A dragon?
And things that have not names.
What is that even?
He knew it was all in his head. But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself.
What's going on?
But he found something more. I worried about him then,
We turn into a 3D game.
daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his boss. But he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Lewis. So I let him go on. I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first.
What's going on?
He told me he'd made a new friend.
This thing's getting bigger.
On the edge of a city he named Lewis Topia.
Dystopia.
He built the city up slowly, brick by brick.
I like the encouraging drums.
Then he made musicians. And songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger.
Dead fish.
He no longer
Nice.
spoke at the cannery. But his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination,
Yeah.
so he could do whatever he wished.
Does he make himself the king?
He held an election for mayor,
Oh, mayor.
and he won.
It's like Mario.
They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him. He'd
Yeah, this
conquer a city, then immediately push on.
imaginary thing is getting bigger. How do I conquer the city? Oh, it
Yes.
just goes.
St. Louis.
Same.
He started drifting away from our reality.
This game has so many interesting mechanics. Yeah.
Until
Oh,
one day he forgot to go home from the cannery.
he forgot to go home.
Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Lewis kept sailing on.
Oh, we can go faster. Oh.
In
Handsome
Lewisburg,
queen.
he heard rumors of a
Handsome queen. We'll go with handsome queen.
handsome queen
I don't know what we're gonna find about this handsome queen. Usually handsome isn't a term described by queens,
The
but
queen was on her own quest for
radiant rainbows.
radiant rainbows.
Some interesting rainbows. I feel like he's gonna cut his finger off in that
Followed the sound
thing.
of her
Electric sitar.
electric sitar.
Yeah, something
His
bad.
chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon.
East of the sun. Something bad's definitely gonna happen
Even
to
then,
Lewis.
his logic remained sound.
Gosh, the whole thing's disappeared
He
now.
knew
I
the
don't
world
even.
was all in his imagination.
I'm chasing after the handsome queen. Come back, handsome queen.
But he was so proud of having created it.
Oh,
In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king.
what was he? A god?
For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming.
Did he
And then it struck
actually?
him that the real Lewis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace.
This is trippy.
My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him.
Whoa. Oh, so is he? I think this is the cannery. Yeah, it is. That's his locker. Chinese.
He began to forget the world we know. I think it pained him to remember Lewis, the cannery worker.
This is. Wow. These stories have just gotten sadder and sadder.
He began to despise the man with a royal contempt.
Oh, there's me? What am I gonna do?
I still thought I could save him,
What's he doing?
even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder. The palace would be packed with his companions.
What's going on? Can I go back? Nope.
Including the wise Calico who'd insisted on advising me.
The wise calico. The cat? Is Molly advising me?
His queen waited, holding his crown.
My handsome queen. I'm coming.
There was only one thing left to do.
What is that? Everyone's so happy.
Bend down his head.
Oh no. That's definitely a guillotine. Oh
Rest, I think
no.
you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
Wow. So I guarantee, so he held his head under that chopping thing.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
Cool PC. The entire family. It's so sad. They all die before. I've noticed not many of them have children. Like Sam had children. It's gonna be interesting to see how
On my
Dawn
way
died.
from Lewis's funeral, my mom told me to start packing. She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie. I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder. I wish we'd stayed. But I understand why we left. My mom ended up leaving everything behind.
Wow.
What happened that night had been coming for a long time.
What happened?
Maybe it should have come sooner. But it had to end one way or another.
Well, guys, I think we're gonna stop this episode here. This has been a sad one. After the death of Lewis, that's probably the saddest one. He was just a guy that, you know, just was in his head a little bit. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this episode, please leave a like, comment what you thought, comment anything. I'd be interested to see what you guys said about the game, mostly, but if you just want to say something, just comment it, why not? Yeah. I'll catch you in the next episode, guys. See you there. YouTube, how are we doing today? My name's Crispy. Welcome to the 4th episode of What Remains of Edith Finch. In the last episode, we saw our brother Lewis and how he met his untimely demise. If you want to see how that happened, watch the other episode. But we're going to head into this basement and see what happens here. We only have 2 people left to write in our journal. Dawn, our mother, and our great-grandmother, Edie.
All that's left now is to tell you about that last night.
Am I small? Why do I feel so tiny?
That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until
Poor
supper,
Edie.
when she raised her glass and said,
To our final night together, and all our final nights apart.
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
Oh no. Where am I?
the power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles. When my mom sealed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance,
Oh.
or that Edie had a key to it.
I wonder if we're gonna see all our dead relatives.
That thing you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house. Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories. I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight. We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning. Okay?
History of the Finches by Edith Finch.
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born. That night, the tide went way, way out.
Oh, wow.
It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years. God, it smelled awful. No, I've seen that house every day of my life.
Wow.
I never thought I'd go back to it.
Wonder what
When
we're gonna
the
find over
fog
here.
rolled in, I lost my way.
I guess I'll just keep heading straight. Oh, you literally can't see anything.
Turned around.
No? Okay, I have no clue where I'm going.
I started seeing things.
A buck. What else are we gonna see?
Things I'd forgotten had ever existed.
A bed?
But when I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me.
What is all this stuff?
Or maybe I came back to them.
Oh, there's the house.
Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine.
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it. Let go. I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car. I never saw Great Grandma Edie again. The next morning, the van came to pick her up, but she was already gone.
Gone.
After that, we moved around a lot.
I used to do this as a kid too.
We both tried to make the best of it.
Still got her hand fingerless
2
minting
years went
things.
by.
What is
My mom
this?
didn't like to talk about it. But she started getting sick a lot. The rest happened pretty quickly. She got better for a while, and then she didn't. And then I was alone.
Well,
The last Finch left alive. Until I found out about you. I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this. If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is. This journal was supposed to be for you.
is this the baby coming out of the
And I hope
womb?
you'll never see it. I just want to meet you and tell you all these stories myself.
Oh, I think
But I
I'm
guess if you're reading this now, things didn't work out that way.
I think I'm coming out of. Oh gosh. What's going on?
This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
Oh. So, I wasn't Edith the entire time. I was Edith's son. Wow. I still have a lot of questions. Like, how really did Walter die? I mean, obviously he didn't run into a train. There was no train tracks. Did he fall off the edge or something? Did he have a heart attack? I don't know. This has been an interesting game, guys. You know, for our first game on the channel, I wouldn't say it's too bad. Up next, I think Thursday, I plan on playing and posting The Medium, which should be an interesting game. Until then, you know, go have fun. There's no other content on my channel right now, so you can't go and look elsewhere. But follow me on Twitter at TooCrispy, TOOO Crispy, because TOO Crispy was taken. But yeah, you know, like I said before, comment what you'd like me to play. There's some interesting games out there. We're not running into a lot, so I might just end up going back and recording some different games too, and some other things. So yeah, have a good day, guys. Catch you later.